You can go. Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks for joining tonight, and I just want to send a shout out to Gary. Thanks for hosting that last meeting when I wasn't able to do it. I saw the recording. It looked like everything went well. I appreciate that, but I just wanted to open up the floor to see how everyone's doing, how the stuff or how everything's going around the pond. Um, the weather is still pretty cool up there too, I imagine, but hopefully it'll warm up soon. At least to maybe get some recreation in before that lake gets drained, huh?
It's actually down a little bit.
Yeah.
Water level was pretty high a week or two ago, but it's gone back down 6 or 8 inches.
You guys have had some rain up there though recent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's what, that's
Yeah.
what brought it up, but the dam's probably let it out
Mm,
going over
okay.
the top.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
We're just. I think the dam's open. Like the bottom draw gate is still open, like 20 inches, I believe, something like that. And I think right now we're probably either even with the top of the dam, or maybe still an inch over.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it's about where it should be for the summer normally. It's pretty close.
Yeah, but a week ago or 2 weeks ago, where we got that heavy rain when we, before we opened it, we were, I want to say it was like 10 inches above the dam.
Wow.
I believe it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, it was mayhem. Yeah, yeah, yep.
Gary, did you attend that meeting last Wednesday for that other dam removal?
Yes.
How'd
Yep.
that go? Any insights or?
I mean, to me, it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
In a way, I wish they were doing a little more remediation and not just so much cover up.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds, that dam's coming out this summer, and then next year they may actually work on the oil spill site in Lisbon this summer as well.
Yeah.
That's one of those 3 projects that they were going to try and do this year, but they couldn't work it out. But they might do the oil remediation this summer, and then next year they're doing the linoleum cleanup and putting the natural fishway in Lisbon.
Yeah.
And then it'll be done. It'll be from Sabattus Lake all the way to the ocean.
That's honestly a really awesome accomplishment, and I'm sure like over a decade in the making from the last time I think they were talking about it, right?
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been over a decade that the Dam Commission has kind of known about it. So I'm sure it was, a decade before that, someone start, if not more, but that's the plan right now. We only have one signature left from the Army Corps of Engineers. We got the DEP sign off. Everything else is in order. We've already got the funds from Green. We're just waiting on the funds from Sabattus and Wales. And actually, Wales, we won't get the funding until after the town meeting, because last year we had voted to take a bond out when we were thinking it was going to be the $300,000. And now that we know it's only going to be around 50. At the town meeting, we're going to cancel the bond, cancel the vote on the bond and just use it out of general funds.
Okay.
Because there's no reason to pay 10% interest on 50 grand.
Yeah.
No. Yep. So that money will be a little later in the summer. I think that's about it. We had cut down some trees that was unexpected, but for the most part, everything is on schedule. We're going to draw the lake down on the 15th.
Yeah.
That's the last signature. Actually, no, I believe we have permission for that, but the last signature is from the Army Corps of Engineers. I think that's on something else. So
I saw the date of the construction date is from what, June, or it ends in November. Is that true?
Yes, I want to say it starts end of August and done in November. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but yes, something like that. It's a short window for in-water work. And that's where, depending on how quickly we get into winter this year, there might be some groundwork to be done next spring or next summer on the dam to, finish, some of the top stuff, but the dam itself will all be finished.
Excellent. Cool. And the money stuff from each town is all like squared away and set. You shouldn't have to go back to anybody for anything. Because all of your contracts and stuff are set unless something.
I can't
guarantee. Yeah.
I can't guarantee that. I mean, that's why we went through the process. We got the monies allocated from all the towns, but right now we're just asking for that $50,000.
Yep.
You know, from each
Yeah.
town. You know, if something happens and we have cost overruns or something happens, you know, we'll have to deal with that down the road. But we're pretty confident in our figures and what we're getting for funding.
Awesome. Cool. No, that's excellent. It's a long time in the making. So glad to see it's finalized. I'm sure you are too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Can't wait for 2027 or 2026. Yeah. Put this all behind us.
Awesome. While Gary is here, does anybody have any questions about the dam commission stuff? Did you guys meet this month, Gary, or no?
Yeah, we met last week.
Oh,
or no,
awesome.
I'm sorry. We met the first week of this month.
Oh yeah. I honestly didn't even think twice when you said last week. That's how fast time is moving.
Yeah, no, I
sometimes.
know exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Great. Let's see. So I don't is Anthony in here? No, I don't see Anthony in here. But I do know that we went ahead with ordering the shirts. So they will be made soon for everyone who did buy shirts. We had about, I think we had about 13 orders now. And we had 24 allotted, so we were kind of just waiting to order, but we kind of just estimated about like what sizes we should probably pre-order because you have to order them all at once. So we just got a kind of like a catch-all of larges, some mediums, some XLs, and I think one extra large. But we'll have those extras available at the annual meeting this year, which the annual meeting will be set on Sunday, 8/10. So August 10th is when the annual meeting will be. We're still working out the times, but I think it'll most likely be 11 to 12. And of course, we'll put out more informational stuff when that gets closer, at least a month before. We have to put out some information at least a month before the meeting, but I just wanted to tell you all now while we had picked the date so you all can clear or make time if you do want to come. It will be in the same place too, at Justin and Leslie's house on the lake, which was a beautiful scenery for last time. We are trying to potentially get another type of speaker again. We thought that was really a nice thing. We have a couple of ideas, but if y'all have any ideas about people you'd like to hear from, any agencies or other nonprofits or maybe other watershed groups, we'd love to hear them. So you can either shoot me an email or send me a text anytime between now and probably the next week or so, or a couple weeks, just because we want to make sure we get those logistics out of the way and have people booked on some schedules. But excited for this year's meeting. I'll be up for that, so that'll be good. And any questions about that?
Back on the t-shirts, Nick, is there any time frame as far as when they're going to be ready?
Anthony texted today our board group chat and said that he had placed the order. So I don't think they should take that long. I would imagine maybe the next couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to be that long. I was hoping maybe they'd be ready for this weekend. I could pick them up and bring them up for the holiday weekend.
Oh yeah, that might be
they're
nice.
only 2 miles down the street from me.
Yeah. I can ask Anthony, and maybe they might be a quick print job. And I can let you know, Kev. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going to be up there Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, Justin said it.
Donna, yeah.
Justin said that he's been going to Wyndham back and forth, and he also.
Oh, Donna, you froze.
Yeah.
She said it was me.
That's okay. Yeah. So Justin did say he goes down to Wyndham pretty regularly. So if it doesn't work out, Ken,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're 2 miles down the
it.
street. So
yeah. Great. Cool.
I have 2 questions, Nick.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions. The date again for the annual meeting.
Yeah.
And the t-shirts. Will we be able to get one when they're ready?
Yeah. So there's a couple options for pickup for the t-shirts. Like I'm gonna have mine mailed down to me. I had already paid the nonprofit to send down. But if you're local, and whoever picks up the shirts and drops them off probably at Justin and Leslie's place, you can kind of connect. We can connect you with Justin and Leslie for a pickup. I think somebody might have. Yeah, I think some.
So.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So it's easy thing. And we'll also have them at if you had pre-ordered one and already ordered one and paid for one, if you can't get to where they are in time, we'll also have them available at the annual meeting. And of course, if you are like away, and like would like them, shipped, just shoot me an email and we can work something out too. So, we definitely wanted to get them to people, and we'd specifically like to have them for the annual meeting. We think that would be a good thing too. So, yeah.
The
And
date of the annual meeting,
yep, that's August 10th,
August 10th.
which
Okay,
is a Sunday. Yeah, we had it on a Saturday this last year, but we're gonna have it on a Sunday this year. So
okay. Thank
cool.
you.
Not a problem. All right. So annual meeting t-shirts, membership due. So far we
That's a
do,
potluck, right?
yes, and we'll have
And yeah,
like a similar process to last year, probably like a little sign up or somebody or people can post on the Facebook page and I can put it on a spreadsheet so we know who's bringing what and stuff like that. I just want to give an update on the total memberships. Right now, we have 21 people who have paid for memberships, which is awesome. Very, very appreciative of that. I just wanted to make another plug for the membership. If you would like to be a part of it, it is $45 per year, but it is a great opportunity to help support your local watersheds. And we are in the process of trying to figure or are trying to work out some additional like news mailers or something that we can provide to members to keep them informed more so than just the Facebook page and like these bi-weekly meetings too. So really appreciate everybody's support and also additional donations. That always helps. And that leads me into my next topic, which is the grant that we have applied for. So exciting stuff. I know it's been a long time in the making, talking about these plans since like midsummer 2023. But we have partnered with the Androscoggin Valley Soil and Water Conservation District, and we are going to start on the creation of a watershed plan. So, like I've talked about before on this meeting and in other places too, we need an active and recognized watershed plan from that's recognized by the Maine DEP to be able to apply for these larger grants that are called like the 319 grants. Those deal with like implementing what is like prescribed in your watershed plan once built. They are typically only good for 10 years, these watershed plans, once created and certified. And ours had expired sometime in the 2000 teens. But it's definitely been overdue. So essentially, the grant that we applied for is it is a type of grant that will help us lay the foundations for that watershed plan that we will also be applying for a different grant next year. So I know this might sound a little bit confusing, but essentially with the pond being drained this year, you can imagine that the pond is typically not like that. So any types of like scientific research or data collection that would be done in that pond would definitely be a different condition than what that pond normally is. So after meeting with a couple of partners in the Maine DEP and really talking through this process over the last couple months, they had pitched an idea for a separate grant that would still accomplish part of our goals for this watershed plan and essentially just split the building of a watershed plan into two grants. So what we would be doing this year would be doing a lot of the outside of the pond work. Or sorry, what would be we would be receiving money for this year would be a lot of the outside of the pond work, stuff that typically wouldn't be impacted by the lowering of the lake due to the dam repair. So we are still moving forward with that grant and with our creating a watershed plan. It's just kind of like a little piece together puzzle or like a piece together mechanism to still accomplish our goals and still get something done this year, which we think is very important. But also to be realistic in the sense that like the data that we would collect would not necessarily be as like accurate for how the pond normally is. So the grant is through the state still. It's part of like the state's revolving fund, which is a good thing. But we had submitted it in late April when it was due. I had received an email probably about 2 weeks later saying that there was an administrative issue with the actual grant itself, not our grant, but just the actual administration of the grant. So they reopened it up and essentially created a different grant with very, very similar language. So we were able to use the same application. Then we just are making those slight changes, which is typically to some language. As you can imagine, they have removed a lot of mentions or any mentions at all of like climate change and things like that due to national or federal new federal guidelines. But just so slight changes like that, and some of the changes actually make us a lot more competitive too, which is a good thing. And one of those things, and one of those reasons is because the grant that we had applied for in April required a 50% match on in-kind, excuse me, on in-kind work or, a physical match. We structured the grant to have a physical match, or sorry, an in-kind donation match. So we're not using any of our funds so far this year, which is great. And let me just share my screen. That might be helpful as well. Share. And I believe Gary may have talked about this at our last meeting also, but sometimes it's easier just to see what I'm talking about than explain it. So this is the grant itself. I'm just scrolling down to the budget section right here. The total amount requested is about $16,000 and change, which is good. And what that work will do, like I said, is it will just do the work that can be done this year while setting us up for next year as well. So we can keep this thing going. So typically to create a watershed plan anyways, you need 2 years to do that. And that's what the grant cycle, or that's what the grant like application insists upon. So we are doing that baseline work still, except for when we apply for the 604B grant to finish this out next year, or an application next year. Then we should be good to go and continue on schedule. And once that watershed plan is finalized, we can then continue to apply to the 319 grants to implement the work that was identified in the watershed plan that we would create. So I know I can ramble on sometimes, but any questions about this grant process or what we submitted, I can definitely submit a copy or email a copy to anybody if they want to read it over. It's pretty like minimal stuff in the sense to create. It was pretty simple. I think it was just more or less like working out the logistics, because even though we're a nonprofit group, we can't accept the money from the state. It has to be a quasi-municipal or municipal organization. So that's why we went with the Androscoggin Soil and Water Conservation District to be our partner in that, because they partner with groups all the time like that, and they actually have staff members dedicated to the management of those things. A large part of that in-kind donation too is some support that I would offer on the administrative side, just being away, but there is also some volunteer opportunities for anybody who would like to participate. It does require like about a 2-hour training, and then the volunteer day would kind of be like a full 8-hour day, just doing stuff around the pond and gathering like information around the pond and things like that. But from what I understand, it would be a pretty cool experience. So I'm going to definitely plan to be up there if I can for one of those days and be one of those volunteers. Any questions?
So does the training count as in-kind contribution?
It does, yes. So, so the training aspect is, yes. So volunteer rates and how the in-kind donation works is like, if you volunteer to work on something that is grant related in the state of Maine, that is priced out at $30.50 an hour. So your volunteer hours are worth that much as in-kind donations back to the grant. So you're essentially saving the people who would be applying for that grant that money. So yes, that is the biggest contribution of the Watershed group. It's about $3,400 and change just in that line item for our in-kind donation for about estimated about like 10 to 14 volunteers, and that number is a rough number. They overestimated just in case, but that's about 10 to 14 volunteers. And essentially they split, from my understanding, they split the perimeter of the pond in the watershed, or the perimeter of the pond, up into sections. And it's 2 volunteers per section, and then they do a specific job for that. All right, cool. We are just finalizing the last updates on that, and then the resubmission date is the 26th, but I actually have the day off tomorrow, so I'm gonna finish it out then. But just wanted to keep you all updated, and we should hear back, I think, in about a month and a half. When I originally submitted in April, they had said we'd hear back by the end of May, so that was about 6-ish weeks. So I'm assuming the same timeline is probably what will be, but I'll confirm again when it gets resubmitted again. But awesome. That is that.
Yeah.
All right. Trying to think here. I don't think I have anything else. The board is working on some stuff that will be coming out kind of in the next couple months, trying to bring a little bit more structure and a little bit more like ideas of subcommittees and things like that. But I want to open the floor to anybody else. Anybody have any questions, comments, anything about what's going on in the town, any of the towns?
Did you give the address for the donation to become a member?
Yeah, absolutely. You can mail a check to, hold on, let me pull it up real quick.
Post office box 21.
Yeah, it's I know, I just didn't want to say the wrong one. It is PO Box, I think 21, Sabattus, Maine 04280. But let me just get confirmation on that. It is on our Facebook page too. It's
Okay.
on the little side information thing, but sorry, I'm just logging into Facebook now.
Oh, right.
If you're in there, Nick, can you post something that maybe stays on top just to let just saying that the dam is going to be opened on June 15th?
I'm not sure if I can pin. Can we pin on this thing? I've never seen that.
No, I have no idea.
Okay, I can look. I'm not familiar with pinning anything on there. I know in some like forums and boards you can, but maybe I can put it into our about section or something like that too if I can't
Just
find
the
anything.
closer we get to it, now,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't know anything about this. What's going on? It's like, we've been talking about this for like 5 years, but it would be, just, so if someone goes to the Facebook page, the first thing they see on the top is, the dam's going to be open on June 15th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're getting
I'm
into
sorry.
town. Yeah.
No,
Go for it.
sorry.
Sorry.
I just wanted to piggyback on that. I noticed that like Sabattus and Wales have put out like an official info on that, and it's been posted. But does anybody know if the town of Green is going to post something like that?
I'm not sure. That might be a great question for the town manager over there or anything like that. I know Green is particularly active in their own like little community group page. I think it's actually even much more active than their own like town social media page. And I think I saw it shared in there. Sorry.
Oh, really? Okay, I may have missed it then.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not the one that's not the one that's operated by the actual municipal
Yeah.
government. Yeah. I think it's just
Great.
the community page one. But yeah, and it was shared on our page as well too.
Right. And I saw that people had shared those on ours for Sabattus and Wales, and I just thought, well, that's a really good that it's like coming from the town and being posted. And I thought, oh, that'd be great for that Green Facebook page to get that posted, but have it actually come, not just like, oh, look at Wales and Sabattus are saying this.
Yeah.
It's actually, yeah. Okay, no worries.
Yeah, no. And honestly, like the way that the Facebook page groups work, it's exactly like an individual profile in a way. If you shoot them a message and just be like, I don't know if are you a resident of Green, Kim? Sorry.
Oh, well, I'm not a resident, but that's where the camp is.
That's where the camp is. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you send them a message, they should get it like a regular Facebook message, and they might be able to respond back too and post something. They just might not have gotten around to it yet. But yeah, Steve Wood is the dam commission guy, and then Glenn, right? For Green, Gary.
Nope, Steve Wood, Mo, I'm sorry, not Mo. Now I'm drawing a blank. The new selectman, what is his name? Mark, is it? Glenn got replaced in the last election. Think of his name. He hasn't, I don't think he's been to a meeting yet. Maybe he's been to one meeting.
Lou, right?
Well, yeah, Lou, but the selectman for Green is also
right.
Because what a selectman has to be on the dam commission.
Yeah.
Mark Randall.
Oh, okay.
Is his yeah. But like I said, maybe he went to one meeting, but he's not. But yeah, Lou, who's normally on these, these. Yep.
So I think I misspoke or spoke too soon. I just went on the Greentown website, and when you look under their latest news, they have a very small little piece of that. So maybe I'll just copy and paste it onto the Green Facebook page, so more people. I just was waiting for them to actually say something and not just put it out there. Okay.
Yeah, but as far as information goes, I think, like, in my opinion, the Wales town website probably has the most information.
Probably.
They have they actually have a dam page, if you will, on their website that has all, it has all the drawings of the dam, it has all the documents, it has all the, they have a specific page for it.
Here,
so as far as information goes, that's probably the best resource.
Yeah. No, this way I'll make sure. I appreciate it.
I know, honestly, Wales went from having no website at all for years, and then has one of the best ones out there now. So
yep. No, I mean, yeah, it was, and it took, I forget how long it took them. I mean, they did a good job on it, but it took a couple years to design it and everything.
Yeah,
really good job on it.
They really did. I even think they linked our website on here too. But
they're very, they're very good.
Yeah. Definitely check it out, explore it. It is a great resource. I've been on it quite a few times too in the last couple months. So awesome. And it is getting close to town meeting time. It's that time of year. I think Sabattus is coming up in June this year. I know Greens is always typically later, August-ish around. And
Wales is usually June.
Yeah, Wales is usually June. But just keep an eye out for those ones. If you guys see a date, you can let me know. I'll keep an eye out too, just to make sure. I just like to post it just because, it's important for everybody. Even if you might not be a resident of that community, it's important for when you know it about your community. So awesome. Great. Oh yeah, there we are. See? Awesome. Anything else that anybody has to discuss or bring up? We are in, or I guess any concerns about the lowering of the pond. I've seen some stuff on some socials. Sometimes I feel like we can get kind of engrossed in this, having been so close to it, but any thoughts or anything like that? No? Great. All right, everyone.
Does anyone want to go home, or you want to hear a story?
Let's hear a story. You want me to turn off the recording?
No, it's you've only been here for 35 minutes. I got a story to tell. I always do. Anyone want to hear a story?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So last weekend I got an email forwarded to me. This is almost like 10 years ago when Chuck from the USGS knocked at my door asking if he can put a buoy in the lake. So is anyone familiar with BRI?
No.
No, BRI. So interestingly, that stands for Biodiversity Research Institute. So So I'm wondering, well, why is, so anyway, so BRI sends an email to the president of our road association because he found his email through our Facebook page or contact us, whatever it was. So I get this email and it says, hello, I'm a bald eagle researcher for BRI, a nonprofit wildlife research organization based in Portland. We have an extensive bald eagle research project this year, sampling nestlings. Our pilot doing surveys has told us there's an active nest on Mars Point and the coordinates are blah, 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 blah. And they looked it up and they said, oh, that's owned by so-and-so. So they contacted the road association president and he forwarded me the email. So I contacted them and I talked with the head of their research, and basically what they want to do is I have a eagle nest in one of the trees behind one of my garages, and they saw the eagles, the nestlings are coming out. There's a certain time, all the details I forget exactly, but around 5 to 6 weeks after they're born, they want to take, basically what they want to do, they want to climb up the tree, take the eaglets down, take a breast feather out of them. They want to take a blood sample, and they're going to put tags on their legs to identify them. In an effort to, this testing now that they're doing, or the funding they have, is to test for PFAS in the eagles. The previous stuff I got that he sent me from their website was all the previous testing was for mercury, going back like 20 years. And really interesting that on their website, the data they have for the, territories eagles have, this, that, and the other thing. So right now I'm trying to make the decision is, do I let them do this or not? So just kind of an interesting story. So most likely, and actually, I'm sorry. The other thing is when they climb the tree and take the eaglets out and put the tags on them, do everything else, I can be there and take pictures and videos and this and that and the other thing. So kind of an interesting, event on the lake, if you will, to be part of that. So like I said, I'm probably going to do it, but I'm still looking into it and thinking about, if there are any,
I would think so.
detrimental things. I mean, he had all the answers. I mean, the guy's been doing it for whatever. He's been doing it a long time. So it doesn't seem like there's going to be any harm to it, and probably a greater good thing. But just kind of interesting what happens in your backyard. Someone was literally, their pilot was flying over the lake and saw the eagle nest. And that's why I referred to Chuck from USGS, because he was, looking at the lake and said, oh, I'll go to that point. And he drove down my driveway and knocked on my door. So, but anyway, so that's my story. Those of you that know me, know that, we'll see. But I think it's probably a good thing to do. Yeah. What do you think, Donna? Should I let him do it or not?
I thought they were going to say it was at Diane's, because I keep seeing.
I don't want to ask Diane because the eagles bother her. She'd probably say, "Oh, I'm gonna."
No, that's
when I
not
pull them out of the nest, I'm gonna squash them.
They keep squawking over here last year. The baby didn't want to feed itself. I'll come see them climb that tree. I want to see it.
I was gonna say, for those of you, because I think it's I want to say it's like 2 weeks, so I'm not sure who's gonna be. I know Donna won't be here yet, but if you're here, Diane, and you want to come over and
I'm here. I came in today.
You are? Oh, okay.
I am.
Well, yeah, no, I'll let you know.
All right.
And I think too, I had sent it to Nick, but just and it may or may not, but just in the watershed plan and everything else, it's kind of a good connection to have. Well, hey, we got eagles here on the lake. Just, and again, everyone knows that, but just to have it documented and out there with more, more people looking at it.
Yeah, definitely more attention is always better in these types of circumstances. Honestly, it sounds like a really cool thing. I imagine they'll probably test to see how much PFAS they may have those babies may have in their system for potentially seeing how the exposure is in the environment, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when we were talking earlier.
Because my,
They've been doing this for like 20 years. So
Yeah.
my question I got to ask the researcher is, they have samples from 20 years. Why can't they test a 20-year-old sample for PFAS? To see where the level has gone from then till now. But that was the reason for it. And I get, they know it's an active nest, so they're probably going to come back next year and the year after, and continually, do samples and test, egrets out of that nest.
Yeah, I wonder if they're testing if it's like passable down to like from eggs or something like that. If they just hatch, is that what he's waiting for? If they just hatch?
Nope, because they have to do it before they become fledglings.
Okay.
Because once they make that, and I going from memory, but once they first leave the nest, they're too big to, catch and, well, I guess you could, but it would be a little complicated. But anyway, this is what they found to be the best time, at this, whatever, when they're 5 to 6 weeks old, because I think they fledge at like 12 weeks.
They got a couple papers and publications on here. I'll definitely check them out, Gary, and email you back.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was kind of an interesting neighborhood fact.
Yeah. Honestly, how often do you think you'll be able to see a baby eagle that up close too? So
exactly.
Yeah.
Probably in 2 weeks.
So they're not going to put a camera in the nest.
He did not mention that. If you go on their website and look through all their documentation, they do have nests that they have game cams in, and they do actually. I forget what the exact number was. I want to say it was in the 40 to or something birds that they actually have solar powered GPS trackers on them. That track there. If you go deep in, or actually at the second link, I think on the banding that I sent you, Nick. It has all sorts of maps, and they track exactly where the birds go from season to season, because they have GPS trackers on them.
Wow.
But he did not mention that. He just said that, the banding, I forget what it is. They put a gold band on one leg that signifies one thing, and they put a red band with their number, their like ID tag on the other leg.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. This sounds like a cool opportunity, honestly. So, oh yeah, wow! Look at all the bird eagle nests.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit to dig into, but there's a lot in those 2 links.
Yeah. No, this is really cool.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
If you end up by doing it, Gary,
That's a state.
definitely post those pictures.
Actually, I didn't even think about that, but yes, I will. Yep.
Yeah, looks like a lot of locations. Looks like the yellow is where they've sampled, and the red dots is where the nest sites that they've identified. So.
Yep. And I'm not sure. I mean, he said PFAS, but I'm most curious, to tell you the truth, to see the difference in the raptor, in the, whether it's loons or whatever type of species changes because of the fact that we are going to go from Sabattus Lake to the ocean.
Yeah.
With fish running back and forth, and with activity going through the entire Androscoggin. I mean, I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because it hasn't happened in 100, or since the 1850s, I think 1860s was the last time that there was a clear passage.
Yeah, because that's when Sleeper Dam, around the time that Sleeper Dam was built.
There was a dam for every mill. Yeah, that's what power was water.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. No, it seems like a really cool thing. I am curious about the PFAS too. And yeah, I see the mercury studies right there that you were talking about too. So.
Yep.
Awesome. Great. Anything else? Any cool stuff going around? Any events happening around the pond? Oh yeah, it shows Gary's my name as Gary's because he's also on my account as well. So yeah, as an optional host. Yeah. No, you're fine.
And it shows my name as Nick as me because yeah. You can fix that. You're an administrator.
So when I think it was Gary just said, so every mill had a dam. it's reminding me that I've been trying to figure out the history of how the became a lake. And so I'm thinking that maybe like in the 1830s, the land was all owned by one farm. And so one farmer was able to dam up his property so that the lake could be expanded, it could be filled. Because I was thinking, you know, how do you get all these people to agree to have their property become a lake?
Well, you have to, so Donna,
Yeah.
to put it in perspective, you know where the cabin is? Next to Scamp.
Yeah.
That was the first structure built on
the
lake.
log cabin?
Yeah, that was the first structure built on the lake in 1903.
Oh,
So in 1850, I believe it was, you know, right around then, when they put the dam in, it literally, there was a mill, I think it was a Main Street mill, I'm not sure, or whatever. You know, there was a mill right next to it that they would close the dam at night and they would build up water. And then when they got there at work in the morning, they would open the dam, it would turn the water wheel and the mill. And then at the end of the day, they would close the dam because they needed to build up energy for tomorrow to spin the mill. And that's why all these dams were put in, was, you know, because there was no electricity. There was no, you know, that's the only power there was water running through a wheel. And the only way you can have water consistently running through a wheel is if you have a reservoir or, you know, a lake or, you know, a dam to provide that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so how do you get the right to dam up?
It was 1850.
Yeah.
This
Dam
was
up
still,
all
if
that
you look at a
property
map from
unless you own it.
if you look at a map from 1850, and I'm being, not being sarcastic, but if you look at a map from 1850, you know, I believe it was again, don't quote me on this, you know, it was a knight or something, or a lord from England, you know, Lord Wales, that owned basically the town of Wales because the king gave it to him. You know, I mean, even though we were America, you know, even though we were America, he had been given that land as a, you know, reward for doing something. I mean, it was a different time.
I mean, yeah, the density back then, Donna, it wouldn't have been even, it probably would have been like less than on average one person per square mile type of a thing. Even Lewiston.
Or even more. Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I
even
mean, if that,
like,
and too, you have
like
to
the farms
if
were
you look,
probably.
if you look at maps from back in that time,
yeah.
there was not a tree. It was interesting at the meeting last week about taking out the mill dam or the dam in Lisbon. They have a picture from the late 1800s when it was put in, and there is not a tree in sight.
Yeah.
This entire, you know, the entire state had been, or not the entire state, but everything had been cut down because we needed wood.
Yeah.
You know, we were building America out of Maine. So, I mean, it was literally clear cut. Nothing. I mean, not a twig.
The aspect of, is anybody familiar with the aspect of Royal Pines? The ships. So before the Revolutionary War, Maine was heavily used for masting, for masts, because they had such strong old forest
strong,
pines.
straight.
Yeah. So I mean, and of course, then like stuff was used for farming. I've read a statistic before that there's more trees now in Maine than there had been in the last like 200 years or something like that. Just because of how heavily forest or how heavily like cut down it all was, and it was primarily like farmland. So a lot of different changes. And Donna, just quickly, like from how it was explained to me, and Gary is right, it was around that same time that this original like area was dammed up, and then hence like this whole like area started to fill up. But essentially there was just simply a river that winded through this low-lying land that is the pond, winded its way down around Martin's Point, and then like came down there. And then after, you know, probably quite a few years of it being dammed up, you know, and it wasn't like there was property like a house here, a house there type of a thing.
There was nothing.
Yeah, there was nothing. So it just slowly filled up until the elevation reached a point to where it just either went over the top of whatever dam was there, and then now we have what we have today. But yeah, growing up, I always heard the rumor that you know, this was a man-made pond, and from what I understand, this area, maybe even by where you live, was like actually a pond, but of course that's much, much smaller than like, you know, anything. But yeah, and then it grew out to this size that it is now.
I've seen some of the names that we might recognize, like Witherall was a big farm owner in the late 1800s, and
Yeah.
Dixon, the Dixon Road, and Libby was another person that had a big farm.
Mhm.
And the big one that I kept seeing a lot of was Sanborn.
Yeah. Yeah. Crowley. I think Waterman
My guess
too.
is that those early farmsteads had this immense amount of land where you could just dam up your property if you wanted to.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure many of these little ponds and streams and creeks, over the last 250 years have seen massive change just from human intervention in ways. And, maybe a lot of them have also been lost to time as well and just gone back to their original waterways. But I think maybe Sabattus being, if any of you have heard of old stories about Sabattus, it was like kind of like a little Main Street hub, pre-1950s. There were multiple mills in Central, and I guess there even used to be a bus route and a train that used to run near there. Used to run, I guess, all along Long Beach to where I guess there was also a roller rink over here or
Yep.
something. Yeah.
There was a trolley that ran around the entire lake.
Yeah. I also have a photo of Martins Point area being a like bathhouse type thing. Like
Yep.
there was an actual
Yep.
building there. Yeah.
Yep.
And up until the 1950s. Yeah.
Being a bathhouse?
Yeah. Yeah. There was actual structure around this area.
yeah.
And I have a picture of it. Yeah.
I saw it. I mean, I'm old enough to have actually seen it.
Oh. I've only ever heard stories. But yeah, no, I guess that when I was doing my original research on the pond back in grad school, I read a lot of I contacted the Historical Society in Sabattus to learn more about like the social aspect of it. And there were some really cool documents that detailed how many people from like Lewiston and Auburn would take a train in or the trolley in from Lewiston, Auburn, and like this was almost just like a beach day type thing, So. And then that honestly stopped with its frequency as soon as it started to get as soon as the algae bloom started, which is really unfortunate. Yeah.
Yep, I'll send you the article, Nick. But yes, there was a article. I forget exactly, but I want to say it was maybe the 1940s, 30s, probably I think the 40s, because that's when really the lake started to grow right out, late 40s after World War II. But it was literally, the quote was, to the crystal clear sandy beach where the bathhouse was down on 126.
Yeah.
But yes, it was, crystal clear sandy beach. Yeah, cleanest lake in Maine. And it's like, look what you did to it,
Oh.
Yeah.
What we do to the environment around us. But no, that's great discussion, everyone. I appreciate it. I will most likely I am actually moving just in the city. I'm moving to a different place in the city, but I'm taking a little bit of time off of work. So I think probably our first, let me just check my schedule real quick. I think our next meeting will be the second weekend in June, provided I do not have a different meeting, but I will confirm right now. And if not, maybe Gary, if he is available, would be willing to host. Let's see, it would be the 11th. I am actually away because I'm actually coming up to Maine I'll be traveling that day, but I'll be coming up to Maine for a wedding on the 14th. So I can talk to you offline, Gary, if you want, but if you'd like to host, I think that'd be great. If not, we can host the next meeting on the 20th or on the 18th. So I'll get back to you all for the next meeting time. But thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah, have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.